I went to junior high school with a fireman that perished in 9/11. His name was Chris Santoro, and it went to his moral service and everything. And it was, it touched everybody. Definitely, that's for sure. Like everyone knew someone that perished or was injured severely from that terrible occurrence. But I ask you to your strategy going into the walk. Did you have a specific strategy, a game plan, like a la going back to going back to your days as a professional athlete?
Absolutely, I think Bill Parcells had some great influence on me. And you talk about strategy and game planning. First of all, this is something I've been preparing for all of my life, and it's not something that I woke up one day and had this epiphany that I had to go out and do. So right off the bat, I knew that I wanted to take the journey southward so we would avoid the winter weather and any inclement weather we might incur as a result of the extended time of the season. So we approached Fairleigh Dickinson University, of which I've had the honor of serving on their board of directors for 2 terms, and they actually created a program and a class around developing this route, because we were not allowed to walk on any of the major thoroughfares in the United States. That's a prohibition. So they had to create a pathway for us using secondary roads and highways, all the way from the George Washington Bridge all the way to California. And one of the things I just wanted to make a correction on, our original termination point was the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. But because we had sponsorship obligations in Phoenix, Arizona, we decided that we would terminate our journey in San Diego. So the journey actually terminated in San Diego, California.
Okay.
But nevertheless, it's still a long ways. It's 3,003 miles coast to coast, and we're just delighted that we were ambassadors for this great mission.
Any unique experiences or unique people that you ran into that you would love to share on that experience with?
How much time do we have? Because I think
pick one that comes to mind. Pick 1 or 2 that comes to mind.
It was so wonderful. And I will tell you, I will preface my comments by saying this. Growing up in the segregated South, South Carolina, I had more than a bit of apprehension about walking across the United States afoot as an African American. I think the concerns are obvious. But I can tell you this, after 3,003 miles, after 8.5 months, we did not have not one single negative incident during that entire span of time, which in and of itself is phenomenal. And I will share with you a couple of incidents. We were walking down the road, and we had become accustomed at a certain point in time, people would pull over after curiosity and either even reading about us or hearing about us on television. They would pull over and they'd want to make a contribution, or they'd want to get an autograph, which we really appreciated. So this one particular day, we had a succession of those occurrences, and this white van pulled ahead of us, and out of it jumped 5 little kids and this elderly lady. And I said to my driver, I said, well, get me some pictures, and we've got some kids up here that are autograph seekers. And as we approached the group, I stuck my hand out to the lady and said, hi, I'm George Martin. And she grabbed my hand and she nestled it too close to her chest, and she said, Mr. Martin, she said, I don't want to hold you up, but I need you to meet my grandchildren. And I said, okay, it'd be my pleasure. She says, I don't want autographs. I want them to see what a hero is. She says, I want them to see someone who has it right, who's giving back to the community, who is committed a selfless act for those who are in need. I wanted them to witness history. And when she said the term history, it really had a profound impact on me. And I was just so honored the way she had projected not only myself but the mission to her children. She then reached into her purse, and I could see she was a woman of meager means. She had about $14 in her purse, and she reached out and she put a $10 bill in my hand, and she folded it up and folded my hand. And I looked at my manager, because I was very reluctant to accept it at first, and he shook his head. He said, George, he says, you have to accept it, because what she's doing with those $10 is teaching her grandkids an invaluable lesson that they will never forget. And I will never forget that encounter.
It's amazing. Where was that encounter?
That was in Tennessee.
In Tennessee, okay.
Yeah,
Wow, in Tennessee,
yeah.
wow.
So that was one of I think 100 or 1,000 things that had such a profound impact on us as we went across the country.
It's amazing. And physically, how's everything physically from that long journey?
Yeah, Nabaté, again, I played 14 years in the NFL.
Only missed 6 games. Wow. We're going to talk about how you do that.
Which I consider myself extremely blessed. As a defensive lineman, that in and of itself, some people think is miraculous. And I walked across America. And by the way, during those 14 years, I never had any surgery, so I never had any significant injuries. And I walked across America in 8.5 months, and the only thing I had to show for it was 6 blisters. That was it. So
that's divine.
I feel fantastic. I'm still working out, even though the journey's over. I'm physically, I've done great. I lost 40 pounds at the height of the journey, and I have absolutely no regrets. Without question, it's the best thing I've ever done in my life.